Today, I have a new video with the new Broly Magnificent collection cards. It's a fun green-yellow Broly deck. I playtested it a little bit. It's really fun. I don't know how competitive it is. It still needs to be broken down a little bit. But so far, I've had a lot of fun playing it. And if you guys don't know, when this guy attacks, you can take a life, and then if you do so, you can draw one, and then 4 less, switch to active mode. And it becomes Broly the Awakened Threat. When he swings, draw one, and then activate main, you can choose an opponent battle card, switch it to rest, and then another activate main is add a card from your life to your hand, and then choose any of your cards in rest mode and switch it to active mode. So you can choose an energy, leader card, battle card, any of them. So we're going to start off, like always, with the extra cards. We got 4 Time Magic. It's really good. Yellow negate, sparking, so self-awaken or use it when you're tapped out, and then ignoring barrier and switch something to rest mode. So really strong. Because we're running this leader, you got to run the 1 Bloodlust. Really good. Sadly, it's only at 1, but it also kind of helps, so we have more deck space. And then next, our final extra card is the new Wailing Spirit. For you guys that don't know, energy exhaust, and then activate main, choose a Broly with energy 4, or original energy of 4. Negate its auto, and then play it. So this guy is usually just for energy, for the multicolor. You do have targets to play him out with, but most of the time it's either energy or just gets kind of clogged in your hand. I might take 1 or 2 out maybe for Champa the Trickster, since I do run the multicolor cards, but I'm not really sure yet. 4 super combos, it's just the Jocko ones. You can choose whichever ones you want. I just use these guys because they have cool art. Moving on to the early game package, we got 4 Paragus Deadly Premonition. When you play them, you can look at the top 5 and choose a Broly and shuffle, or add them to your hand and shuffle your deck. Second auto is not really, you can't use it for this because you don't have a leader that's a green Frieza's army. But just being able, you have so many Brawlers, you can usually hit off it. So this is your plus for most of the game. And then I run 2 of the new Paragus, where if your leader card is yellow Broly, you can place him from your combo into your drop and then draw 1. So what I like to do with him, with the new Broly Arrival card, you arrival him out first, and then you use his effect and put him in the drop and draw 1. So you're still getting both. You're getting the best of both worlds with it. And then the only proxy pretend card I have right now, because I just don't have mine, these should be Paragus the Sacrifice, the one that lets you pop a card, green battle card, and then draw 1. I just don't have them, so yeah, 3 of them helps to pop the other green Broly guys and just other green battle cards to draw more. Now we're getting into the main engine of the deck, which is it's a lot of them. The new Broly card, Preparing for Battle. He's a 1-cost green. When you play him from your hand or drop, you can choose an opponent battle card with energy cost of 1 and KO it, and then activate main for 1 yellow. If your leader card is yellow Broly, which he is, you can choose 1 Broly with an original energy cost of 4 from your hand, negate the card's auto skills, and play it. And then once you do that, you return him to your hand. So you're really not minusing anything, because he's getting added back to your hand once you're playing him out. And then I'll show you the energy cost of 4 guys I run. I run 4 of this guy. Broly rushing 4th, he's a critical, and then when he's removed from the battle area or KO'd, you can drop 2 cards and then choose 1 green Broly with energy cost of 7 and play it. And then I run him with, obviously, a 7-drop. This is good aggro early game. Critical, and then burst 3 during the battle, even if they're attacking you and he's still on field, which is good. So both turns, they just drop a card. So really good. You use the Paragus the Sacrifice to pop him, the 4-drop, in order to play him out. And then the other 4-drop you play is the green package. So if there's a total number of cards between you and your opponent is 3 or more, you can reduce him by 2, so he's a 2-drop. And then activate main, choose an opponent battle card, switch to rest mode, and it can't get switched to active during their next main phase. And then, sadly, which would make the deck a little too OP, but the 7-drop you can't play out with his permanent once he drops down, because it's his original energy cost. But ramping up the chain, just evolving him for 2 is still really, really valuable. So He has EX Evolve for 2 over yellow Brawly with energy cost of 4. So this guy. And then his permanent's a similar thing, but you need 6 or more between you and your opponent. And then he gets reduced by 3, so it becomes a 4-drop. And then his auto, when you play this card, you can only activate skills on cards that are green or yellow and no other color. We only run 2 overwhelm cards, but that won't really get matched up a lot. Like, you won't have to run into that issue. And then his activate main's similar. You drop a card, and then you choose an opponent card in rest mode, and it can't be switched to active. This one is any card, so you can choose an energy or leader card, so they can't draw or have less energy. And then I only run 2 of the 9-drop because you're not going to get to the 9-drop. A lot of the time, they'll probably pop the 4 or 7 before you can get them out, but this is just in case you can. You EX Evolve this guy for 2, double strike. Same effect, if you and your opponent's thing is 4 or more, you can reduce him by 4, and then he becomes a 5-drop. So he's still at being able to be played on 5, even though it does cost 4 yellow, which is kind of hard to get him out with. But then his is choose 1 card from your hand, place it in the drop, and then if your opponent has 3 or more energy, you choose one of their cards in rest mode, and you place it in the drop. So you can choose an energy of theirs. If they have all 4 energy tapped, you can place it in the drop. If they have a big battle card on field that doesn't have barrier, you can place it in the drop. So this is really good. You mostly want to use it for locking their energy. He comes in clutch when you go second. That's usually when you want to try and get him out, so then you can start making the game more even and then hurting your opponent a lot. So that's the main Brawly package, and then obviously, since the new set, you got to have the new Brawly cards that come out. This guy's really good, especially with the leaders activate main skill when you take a life, because this guy's a rival for a green-yellow, energy exhaust, and when you play him, or he switch to active mode by a skill, so this leaders activate main, you can either choose 1 battle card with an energy cost greater than or equal to your opponent's current energy and KO it, or you can draw 1 and then choose an opponent's battle card or cards and switch it to rest mode. So this is also energy if they're trying to save up for a counter play or something, maybe on a bigger threat. You can, if they don't play on this guy for some reason, you can tap their energy and then move on with your plays. But what I like to do, if you're low on hand size, because using the green 4 and 7-drop, when you have to discard 2 and then play them out from your hand can take quite a beating from that. So being able to use his effect to draw 1 and tap something, and then using the leader effect to take a life and restand him, and then he draws another one, that's +3 right there. So you basically make back whatever you took to play this guy out, who is ripping their hand apart, which you want to do the burst 3 every game. You don't really run into decking out, obviously, unless you're playing Janemba, but that's just a given. This card's really good, 6-drop, 25k. Can't get popped by some Denial or Vegeta the Cruel. His effect's really, really strong. And then finally, the last 2 Overwhelm, just because they have cool art. Dimension Banisher and Scientist Fu. More removal, because you have so many guys that tap stuff. You don't really have a lot that actually pops a guy. So he's actually really good. Overwhelm, choose something that's... Choose 1 of your opponent's battle card, send it to the warp, and then Scientist Food is to draw 1, try and sneak in a double strike when they're not expecting it. Can switch these guys to active mode with leader effect, so they're both double strike. You can potentially get 2 double strike swings off. And then you have Scientist Fu, Overwhelm, draw 2. But yeah, that's the main part of the deck, and I can go over really what all you do is you play out the 1-drop Brawly, the new one, because he's the main core of the deck. You want to make sure you can get him, and you just play him out turn 1. Even if you go second, you usually just play him out and then use his effect for 1 green, put him back to your hand, and then you can play out the 4-drop, 20k critical on turn 2. It's really strong, and then most of the time the opponent's scared to kill it, so it will stay on field until you can find the 7-drop piece. And then even sometimes if they're ambitious and try and kill it, thinking you don't have it, and you do have it, you can just play them out the same turn and then burst 3 and make them lose a card earlier on. The critical really helps you tapping everything, so it really makes your opponent lose advantage and really have to put them against, like, having to keep playing out more and more cards. So basically going against decks that like to go tall, like ramp decks, very strong, like any Shenron decks that like to ramp up, because You're just tapping all their stuff so consistently that they're not going to have enough energy to play out the big dudes until they get out World Peace. But even then, you just got to try and search the 9-drop, maybe add more into your side deck. And then maybe if you're playing best of 3, side in the other ones, and then just go for the yellow chain, and then go all the way up and start killing their energy. But yeah, that's about it, man. This deck's pretty good. Fun to use. You guys should try it out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.